Automation Anywhere components. Three components we have. One is, as I said, we have three components. One is control room and client and runtime. Yeah, control room is nothing but a server, and client is a developer studio, and finally runtime is nothing but our robot. Okay, server, I'm just giving you a small brief, guys. Control room server is going to manage all the users like runtime environment or runtime users or client developers or some analytics people, like whoever wanted check how many times the bot is failure, I mean your task is failed or bot is successfully run, such kind of stuff they are going to check. Okay, and client is nothing but developer studio. Whatever you see here, yeah, this is developer studio. This is developer studio. Here you can see whatever the tasks that you have implemented so far. Okay, and some, if you want to create folders, you can create folder, or if you want to open this, if you wanted to open this, just
Yes, yes, it is audible now. But the
yeah.
thing is, are you sharing your screen?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, now we are.
Yeah, fine then. I'm sorry, guys.
Can you
Yeah,
please
just let
like
me repeat this.
how to
Yeah, we
launch
have.
that?
Yeah,
Could you please repeat the step how to launch that screen that you are?
yeah, sure. I will.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I have installed Automation Anywhere in my machine. I'm just going to click on my machine. I mean that software. When I click on that software, it will give you this page. Okay, if it is a trial version, every time it will ask you the username and password. Okay, right now in my machine, the trial version got expired, so I'm just showing you the night version and looks similar. Apart from few features, everything, I mean, everything is same. Okay, just whatever the things same, I'm explaining in 9. Whatever the things different or new, I will show you them in 10th version. Okay, don't worry, even if I'm showing you that in ninth version. Okay, this is Automation Anywhere client screen, developer screen. In developer screen itself, you can find these buttons like new, record, edit, run. Okay, actually, as I told you, we have three components in Automation Anywhere. First one is server. Usually, we don't call it a server, we call it as control room. And client environment. Client environment is nothing but, you can see the title over here, enterprise client. Client is nothing but a developer studio. And finally, runtime. Runtime is nothing but a bot. Okay. Server is going to control all the users. I mean, it will have all the details and data about the users. And also, we have some additional features like credential manager. The thing is, in real time, when you are going to work with passwords, the client is not ready to share the password. At that time, what you will do, you will just create one credential, password, one variable in credential manager, I mean server. The client or that guy, operational guy, will come and enter the password and just leave it off. We will use that variable to type the password in our tools. Okay, it is just like security feature. And coming to the client, whatever the thing that you are going to develop, whatever the process that you are going to automate, everything will be done in client environment. It's nothing but developer studio. Okay, you can create tasks, number of tasks you can create. Okay, you can delete, you can update, you can modify. Okay, you can modify the codes. That's what we can do with client. And finally, coming to the runtime, is nothing but bot. Whatever we develop in client, that will be executed in bot machines. Whatever you developed in client, everything will be executed. I mean, I wanted to run for twice a day at midnight or 12 o'clock AM and PM. I wanted to run for every 1 hour. I wanted to run my task weekly. I wanted to run only weekdays. I wanted to run my task in only weekends, like Saturday, Sunday. I wanted to run my task for monthly basis, monthly particular date. You can run it. You can schedule it. So in bot, you can schedule the tasks. In 10th version, you cannot schedule the tasks in client environment. You cannot schedule the tasks in client. You can schedule the tasks in runtime. And what else? We cannot edit code in bot runtime. Runtime also looks like same, but you cannot find these options. You can find only run, not the rest of it. Okay, the look and feel, everything is same. Everything will be same for bot and client. The thing is, we cannot edit, we cannot create new tasks in bot machine. So these are the three Automation Anywhere components that we have. Okay, and here I just opened the client, and now I would like to move to coding standards. Okay, any questions, guys? So far, like what is RPA and what is Automation Anywhere components and RPA lifecycle? I covered these three topics. If you have any questions, you can.
Okay, you mean the runtime will be there in separate in 10.3?
Not only in 10.3, I mean, in every version, they just in ninth version and 10th version, we have separate. I mean, actually, we have to purchase separate licenses for client and bot.
Okay,
Yeah.
that they will call it as a runtime for whatever my jobs. If I wanted to transfer that ATL file to repository, central repository,
Yeah.
is it a central repository where they hold all the code?
No, bot is not central repository. Repository is, I mean, we can upload all these codes into server, I mean, web control room. We can dump from there. But what bot is just a runtime environment which your code will be executed based on schedules or triggers. That's it. Bot will not do anything, just execution of your code. It will not store anything. Okay, any more questions, guys? Any more questions? Okay, I'm considering as no. Let me start coding standards. Okay, in generally, um, okay, when I joined as an RPA developer, Automation Anywhere developer, my company or my colleagues were not following any coding standards. The thing is, the way that we learned is like, someone is working on Automation Anywhere or some task, we just watch and we will ask the questions and we just learned in that way. And also we just review the codes and what line of code is doing which task, which action it is performing. We just learned in that way. So there were no coding standards before. But thing is, when RPA market is growing up, it is mandatory to maintain coding standards. Most of the people like having experience and they would like to go as an experienced guy. So for them, it is mandatory to follow the coding standards. Like after placing into a company, if you are following coding standards, they'll think like, okay, this guy is really worked on some other task. It's better. We don't know that company may not follow the coding standards, but still you have to follow the coding standards, because after some time, I mean, you developed a code without coding standards, you just developed in your own way and you deployed it. It is working fine. Whenever changes comes, when changes come, then what will happen? Again, you have to come and you have to work on it, right? So after 3 months or 4 months, or after 1 year, you may not know. I mean, you may not understand. You may not understand easily what you have written previously. May not. Okay, not only the case, you are busy with some other projects, you cannot handle those changes. Some other people, some juniors or some other free guy, come a support guy, will come to the code and he has to check each and everything. So if you follow the coding standards, he can easily understand the code, what you have written. If you don't, then he has to check each and every line of code, each and every task. He has to check in that way. So whatever the coding standards that I'm explaining, these coding standards are defined by me in my company to my colleagues, and these are currently they are following all these coding standards. Okay, and yeah, let me start with coding standards. What are the things that we have? Okay, for the first one, Automation Anywhere guys, is those guys are suggesting us variable naming conventions, like whatever the variable that you wanted to create. Okay, at the right side you can find the variable manager. Whatever the variables that you are going to create, everything will be here. And I want to create new variable, just click on add. Okay, create a variable. Yes. Now what is the name? You wanted to create a name like username. Okay, you want to create one variable with username. As per Automation Anywhere coding standards, every variable, every user defined variable should start with small v. It doesn't mean it's not going to take if we give like this. The thing is, they are saying it is better, but it is better practice to give small v before the variable. And here you can see the variable types. I'll explain you what are the variable types and how to give the inputs for variable types and all. Okay, just for a while, I'm creating one variable with value. Okay, if you want to define any default, you can create a default value here. I mean, you can give the default value here. Otherwise, you can just ignore it. So first coding standard, and I mean, I got this standard from the Automation Anywhere guys. Every variable should start with small v, and just click on save and yes, yeah. So whenever other developers watch this code, okay, something you wrote like you have, you are displaying that variable. Okay, whenever that guy see this code, okay, he can easily understand. Okay, there is some username which was designed by, which was uh, created by our developer itself. Okay, some other variables are there, like system defined variables. See, you can see the name itself, system variables. These things will not have any small v or capital V, nothing. These are system defined variables, predefined variables. Okay, these are the variables which you have created, the developer has created. Okay, this is the first one. Naming convention should start like this. And whatever the tasks that you are creating in your project, every task means this one. This is one task. Yeah, this is one task. This is other task. Okay, whatever the task that you create, the file name, the task name should be relevant to your task. Okay, let me consider one example like um, I have a calculator program. Okay, calculator program. In that program, what I'm doing is like, if I'm creating additional, I'm creating one task for add addition. I'm going to create some other task for subtraction and multiplication. I will create each and every task individually. Okay, each and every task should have relevant name like adding, addition, or subtraction and multiplication, division. So every task should have a relevant name. Whenever I see this, whenever I see this name task, I should understand, okay, this task is meant for so and so operation. This task is going to perform some action related to this. So your task name should be relevant to your task action, the process which you are performing in that task. And in generally, in C programming, every program's starting point is main, whatever, main, and ending point also main. Okay, every program will start from the main and will be finished with main. And here, when coming to this, we will have a number of tasks. Okay, we will have a number of tasks, but we are going to schedule only one task. That entire project, all the tasks have to be executed from the main task. Okay, for that main task, you should rename it like, I mean, let me open this one, open the folder. Yes. Okay, your main task should be, the name should be like main underscore your project name or your complete action, whatever you want to give here, you can give. Or if you don't like the main, you can give like master. So when I see this name here like master underscore, so I'll come to know this is the starting point of my project. Okay, when some other people, some other developers come here and see, okay, this is the starting point, so I can start tracing of my project from here. So I can execute this task so that I will find the changes where it happened, where the code is failing. So it is just easily understanding purpose, you should follow the naming conventions. Okay, your task name should be relevant to your task action. I mean, which action you are going to perform, that should be related. That name should reflect that task. And the main, the starting point should have main or master. It's up to you. It may vary company to company, but still you can say like, or else after placing in your company, you can ask like, what are the coding standards that you guys are following? You can ask. What is the starting point? What is the starting task? How you are going to name it? Okay. For now, these are the general common things which we have to implement in real time. Okay. This is about naming conventions. Okay. And in naming conventions, variable name should start with small v, small v, and task name should be relevant to your task. Master task's name should start with master or main. Yes. So these 3 points related to naming conventions. Anything else? Yeah, of course we have. And Automation Anywhere company itself, they are suggesting your single task, your single task, I mean this one, your single task shouldn't have 500 lines of code. You can see the line here. Whenever you write some program in language for a block, you will mention braces. Ending point of the block. Automation, the only indication is the addition. Okay, space from this. Everything. If you are going to create one if condition, create one if condition. Is the file size? No, variable. My variable is something current Excel row is equal to something like 2. I'm just giving a random condition. Okay, whatever you created, this indentation is matching with the others. Okay, this indentation is matching with others. And coming to this, whatever you create inside of it, like I'm going to create, see the indentation maintains, I mean it indicates the block. There is no such things like minimizing a particular block. I mean starting point is this, ending point is this. There is no such minimizing kind of stuff. Okay, so that's why if your code or your block is having 100 lines of code, then you may get confused after some time. Whenever you're observing your code again, you may get confused. You have to check like, okay, this is the starting point. Okay, it is matching with this. Okay, the entire code belongs to this if condition. Okay, that's why what they are suggesting, you shouldn't create more. You shouldn't create more than 500 lines. Even if you create more than 500 lines, Automation Anywhere software can accept it. But the thing is, it's a better practice to not give more than 500. They suggest like you can create n number of tasks for complete project. That is fine. That is at all fine for them. Okay, instead of creating 5 tasks, my project is having 5 modules. Instead of creating 5 different tasks, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create 10 different tasks. That is fine for them. But no task, no single task should have 500 lines, more than 500 lines. Okay, they are suggesting like only 500 lines. I'm just going to, I don't want to disturb my previous code. Yeah. And what else? Okay, every task should start with comments. What comments should contain? Developer name and create date and task description. Okay, whenever you are going to create a new task, it is always better to mention some tasks. Like I'm going to create like developer name. I'm going to give my name Ashok. Okay, I want to mention one more thing like create date. And today's date is 31st August 2017. And this is creation date. And task description. Description should have what you are going to do. What are the actions that you're, I mean, this particular task is going to perform. you have to write some description. Just thing like, coding standards. Okay, here coding standards. I don't want to give the entire name. Yeah. Okay, like this, your task should start with developer name, create date, task description, and all. Okay, if possible, you can mention few more things like what are the from where it is going to be called. Okay, from master, I'm calling this one. From master, I'm calling this one, or I'm calling this code, this task, coding standard task from Excel commands. Then it's better to mention like one more comment, parent task, master, yeah, master task called me. Yes. Okay, this is why it is mandatory. Yes, of course mandatory. Why? Because whenever you are not available for this project in future, and some other people will take care about your project, whenever they see these commands, okay, these are the things that are going to happen. Yeah, this was created by so and so programmer. And if you got any doubt, you can call the guy, you can simply contact the guy if the guy is available. Okay, and description. Whenever I read this description, I'll come to know what are the tasks, what are the actions that I'm going to perform on this particular task. So I can easily understand the code, and I'll keep that in mind. Okay, this is like these are the things happening in this task. I can easily understand. The other developers easily understand. Okay, that is about comments and description. And what about next one? Error handling. Okay, there is one concept in Automation Anywhere to handle errors, unexpected errors. See, whatever the code that you are going to write in a task, everything should be within begin error handling and end error handling. The entire code. What error handling will do, I'll tell you in later classes. Okay, why I'm telling you is, whenever you got some error in the entire task, you don't know where you got it. Whenever you developed, everything is good. Whenever you testing, everything was good. And whenever you deployed for UAT or testing, everything was good. After deploying to live, and you got one error, they will not receive any file, or they will not receive any email um, with the status whether the task is executed successfully or not. Okay, and also if not executed, if you don't keep this error handling, what will happen? You cannot know, you cannot find what is the exact error. So for that one, you should keep error handling. Okay, in this you will have multiple options like send an email. You can send an email when you got error. Take the screenshot. You can send the screenshot whenever it is, if it is required. Okay, to handle errors, you should mention the entire code between error handling. Okay, so these are the basic coding standards that we have to follow while preparing any project, while developing any task. I have 10 tasks in my project. You have to write 10 tasks, 10 comments for each and every task. And error handling, each and every task should be in error handling, within error handling. Okay, any questions from the coding standards? Can I consider as no?
Uh, Actually, this is my first session actually. Is there any prerequisites for this RPA, like a developing the developer role?
Okay, for automation anywhere, I'll say no. No programming
Okay.
background required.
Okay, what kind of coding actually that we are going to implement in RPA? Like, is there
Actually, in automation anywhere, we have around 500 and 550 plus commands. These are the commands. Whatever it is providing, we are going to use them for each and every task. I mean,
okay,
whatever the task you wanted to implement, we will use from this only.
okay,
Okay. For I mean, the thing is, you will learn how to use these commands. What are the input that we have to give for this particular command, and what are the output that we will get from this command. That's the thing what you will know.
okay.
Yeah. And the
Thank
thing
you.
is, if you know .NET or macros, VBA, Excel macros, that is an added advantage. I mean, whenever you see the notification for RPA developer, they will just ask you automation anywhere knowledge, and they will mention if you know this added advantage. That's it.
Okay, and my second question is actually like is like this particular RPA is role is only for the .NET developers. I mean, I heard this point actually many ways, so that is the reason actually I'm asking.
Okay. The thing is, like, in initial days, RPA initial days, no one knows about RPA at that time. The companies were hiring .NET developers and they were training them for automation anywhere, and they just push them to production. But the thing
Okay,
is, even if you don't have any .NET background, that is absolutely fine if you know how to use all these commands.
okay, because actually we
And
are yeah, yeah, actually I'm working on other other domain, actual other technology uh, related to SAP. So if I switch to RPA, will it be there any like a difficult for us or not? So that is my
no,
question.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
See, I started my career in different technology. Like, I was, like, online survey programmer, where we use web technologies like HTML, CSS, jQuery, JavaScript. That is my
Okay.
background. I don't know any .NET. I don't know any macros and all.
Okay.
I just got a chance and I learned. And you just have to know how to implement a particular task logic. What are the solutions that we can find? It's a logical thinking. That's what you want.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
That's it. Apart from that, nothing else.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any more questions, guys? Okay, these are the coding standards that we have to follow. Like, what is the variable, how to create a variable name, naming conventions for variable, and naming conventions for tasks, and naming conventions for main task, and the length of the code for each task. It's a per task. It shouldn't be more than 500 lines. And every task should start with comments. What kind of comments you have to give? You have to mention your name, date of creation, and what task description you can. Okay. For master task, you have to give the entire project description. Project description. If it is a subtask, then you can just simply mention task description. If it is a master task, you have to mention project description. What are the things that you are going to do with this project? Just you have to give a brief introduction about it. And finally, every task should within error handling, so that if you got any unexceptional errors, or if they got any changes. Okay, you implemented one project and um, you implemented the project, testing and everything is done, and you push it to live. After 1 year, some changes they made in the tool, maybe title got changed, or some other, the position of your element got changed, the position of, or the theme of your window got changed. So that time again they will come back for us. Okay, this is the thing that is going to happen. But before that, we don't know whether that changes were happened or not. our Automation Anywhere cannot find the particular element, then it will take the screenshot of particular line. It will give you the line number where the error found, and it will give you the screenshot currently executing the tool. It will send the entire screenshot if you wanted to. I mean, if you program like a sending an email with screenshot. Okay, that's why we should use error handling. So these are the basic programming standards. Basic programming standards. Okay, for today's session, what we discussed coding standards and also automation anywhere architecture, you can say, or components, you can say. Okay, and from tomorrow onwards, I'm going to start programming. Okay, these commands, I will explain these commands. From tomorrow onwards, I will start the core part, development part. I'll give you example. Okay, guys, if you have your own laptops, you can install Automation Anywhere on your laptop in virtual machine or wherever. Okay, the trial version stands for 30 days. After completion of that, we cannot extend or we cannot do anything. We cannot manage with that. So what we have to do is it's better to install Automation Anywhere trial version in virtual machine. Or some guys are following like AWS, Amazon Web Services and all. They are just creating instances and they are using it. Just create one virtual machine, operating system, install it, and inside it you can install your Automation Anywhere trial version. After completion of that trial version, you just can delete it. Okay, you can just delete it, and you have to, if you wanted to repackage again, you have to create one more instance and just install it again and work on it. In that way only we can manage. Okay guys, from tomorrow onwards we are going to start programming. Yeah, any questions guys? Any questions? Okay, thank you so much and have a nice day guys.